So today I am finally doing the A Reader's Favorite Songs tag. I first heard about this tag months ago, and I had wanted to do it. It's taken me so long for a few reasons, mainly that I knew it was going to be a long video, and I just wanted to be well prepared for it. This tag was originally created by another bibliophile reads. I was tagged by some other character. I'm not sure if I was tagged by anybody else. I know I was tagged by him, but it was months ago when I saw this tag circulating. This tag will be an opportunity for me to talk about music. Now, I love books, but I love music more. Like, sometimes I really gotta carve out the time to read or make sure that I read in the day. But listening to music comes naturally for me. It's easier for me. It's something that I'm just going to do, and I love it a little more, though I think it's cool that my interest in music and books can go together. So this tag is an opportunity for me to talk more about the music I love, which I've been able to do in some videos, but this will be a really good opportunity. And I also think that this will become a series. Like, for this, I'm just responding to the tag, but I think I'm going to do similar videos in the future and it'll become a series. I think I'll call it Songs I Love, because in this video, I'm just going to be talking about 5 songs, but there are so many more I could talk about that I'd like to talk about, so I will be doing that in the future. Maybe like one video a month or so. I don't know. I'm not going to put a strict schedule on it, but that is something I would like to do. So I'll read the prompt for this tag. It says, people read, but they often listen to music as well. Do readers' choices in music reflect their preferences in reading? As a reader, what songs interest you? Let the viewers decide whether musical tastes match reading tastes. Name a few of your favorite songs. There's no need to put them in a specific order unless you'd like to. There's no minimum or maximum number of songs required. People tend to resist being bound to a set number. Don't overanalyze each song choice. A brief comment will be sufficient. I'm saying songs, but interpret that broadly. There are many kinds of music that might not fit the strict definition of a song. Go with whatever feels right to you. So the one part of this I will be disobeying is that I'm not just going to give brief comments. I mean, maybe for some of the songs, especially later in the series, but I have a lot to say about these things. Like, I've seen other people do this tag and it's been enjoyable, and I think it's totally fine if you just like a song because it's fun, it makes you dance, reminds you of the summer of 1985, whatever the case is. But for me, like, there are many songs I do like just because they're fun or catchy or whatever. And then there are some that I have a much deeper emotional connection to that mean a lot to me because music is a big part of my life and it's very important to me. So there are some songs where I really like the lyrics, or they really motivate or inspire me, or they really soothe and comfort me, and they've just helped me through a lot. So those are the songs I'll be talking about in this series. I don't think I'll be talking about songs where I just think they're catchy and fun. If that's what you do, that's totally fine, but I wanted to talk about the ones that have a deep meaning to me. So yes, I'm going a little off what the tag's supposed to be because I will be yapping, but that is just how I have decided to do it. I have a few more notes before I begin. Yeah, I've just been very excited to do this, and I think it is a more structured way to talk about songs I like, because I could easily talk about music, but I do think it's easier for me to talk about that if I'm prompted instead of just being like, tell me about this, because I have no idea where to begin. So yeah, I will be sticking to 5 for this video, and I think each video will only have 5 songs. That might not sound like a lot, but with how much I'll talk about them, that'll be more than enough. I have some rules. I'm not going to be including more than one song by the same artist in a video, but you will be hearing about some of the same artists many times. I'll mention the year that the song came out. I may say a little more about the artist. I'll mention if I've seen the song live, which some of these I have. If it's a song on an album, I'll mention what album it's from. I'll try to describe the genre. With some of the songs I like, they're kind of a mix or a little hard to describe, but I'll try. I will also put links to each of the songs in the description. If they have a music video, I'll link the music video. If not, I'll just do some audio recording. Okay, now we can get on to the songs. So as for if I'm doing these in any specific order, the first 2 songs I will be talking about are my current favorite songs, like my first favorite song, then my second. I don't really know like what my third favorite song is. Maybe it would be one of these other ones, but they're up there somewhere, but I don't have a ranking of like a top 100. That would be tough. And this video I did want to be prepared for, and that's part of why it took so long, because it is a somewhat vulnerable video, because I will be talking about my feelings about these songs, and I don't think it'll really be emotional, but like, yeah, it's a bit vulnerable, so it's a little difficult to talk about, but it's good because it helps me get better at it. So the first song I'll talk about is my favorite song, like, of all at the moment. Has been that way for about a year, maybe a little over a year now, and that is the song Do It For Me Now by Angels and Airwaves. This is a song from their first album, We Don't Need to Whisper, which was released in 2006. I really love Angels and Airwaves. They're very important to me at the moment. For a while, I considered a different band, which I will mention later in this video, my favorite, like for years. But then this past December, I decided that Angels and Airwaves is now my favorite band. I didn't think I'd ever call another band my favorite. I knew that if I did, they'd have to be something really important and special to me. But that's what they've been. In terms of genre, Angels and Airwaves would be described as, well, some people have called them space rock, and I think that makes sense because a lot of it is very space-like, but it's also part of like the punk rock genre, maybe alternative rock, that sort of thing. Their singer and one of their guitarists, Tom DeLonge, is mostly known for his role in Blink-182. This is a side project that he started in the 2000s, and while it was never anywhere near as popular as Blink-182, there are some fans like myself who listened to it and understood the vision with it and really like it, even more so than Blink-182. Tom DeLonge is also an author of many books, and I have also talked about his books on the channel, so he does a lot, and I am interested in all of his work. He has become, to me, an artist that is very important, very comforting, very inspiring, and his work with Angels and Airwaves is my favorite thing that he has done. Why this is my favorite Angels and Airwaves song, and my favorite song in general, is that it has been very comforting to me. I think that there are songs by this band and by other artists that are more catchy, are more danceable, that I think sound better. This one, though, I didn't absolutely fall in love with it the first time I heard it, but eventually I realized it could be one of the songs I listen to when I feel anxious, and I listen to it even when I'm not anxious, but I realized that it could be good for that. I think that it is not very heavy, but still a rock song, but it's not too soft either, like it's not acoustic, and I can like acoustic songs, but generally I do like stuff that's a bit heavier. It's not too fast or upbeat. I think it's a good speed. So I guess it's kind of just perfect for me in terms of being the right intensity, and I have just found this song very comforting. It is not the most personally relatable song for me, like the other songs on this list are more relatable, but it feels soothing, and that's how it has been for me. I can listen to songs on repeat just for fun or sometimes if I'm anxious, and this song has been very helpful for when I am anxious. It is definitely my main comfort song. I have some others. Maybe not all of the songs mentioned in the series will be like my comfort songs, but this is definitely the biggest one. I think that it generally has a sweet, romantic, comforting vibe to it. I think that based on some of the lyrics, this song does not promise that everything will be all right, but does encourage you to just, for me anyway, how I've interpreted, not saying that's what the song is about, but I like to give my own meanings to songs and feel that the singer is speaking to me. Like, I know the song wasn't written for me, but some songs can be about a specific person or just whoever the listener is. But I mean, for me, like, I've interpreted it as to be brave and just to do whatever it is that I need to do. Of course, we like the idea of knowing that everything will be all right, but I think in some situations we don't know that. We don't have that assurance. But constantly seeking reassurance isn't good for yourself anyway. So I think if I really know a lot about an artist and I really like them, then listening to a song by them feels more personal, more of a connection than an artist I don't really know anything about. Like, I don't know their name or their personality or their beliefs or anything. Then that's completely different, of course. And so in this case, I do find Tom DeLonge very comforting. And my favorite part of this song is absolutely the outro, which goes on for like the last little over a minute of it. The song is about 4.5 minutes long. The outro has the repeated lyrics, hold on to me. And I love that part. Like, that is my favorite part in a song ever. I think it's very beautiful. Some people would just find it repetitive, and some of Angels and Airwaves songs are a bit repetitive, but I can like repetition if it's something that I enjoy. So yeah, I really like that part of the song. I especially like that it's at the end because you have to go through everything else first rather than just kind of instantly being soothed. But even just the general beat of the song is, I think, a nice beat that, like I said, it's a good speed for me to just kind of focus and hold on to that and be soothed by it, because it's not going to make me super energized, but it can give me something to focus on. So yeah, the last lyrics of the song that I've repeated multiple times, I really like, because it's like, yes, I will hold on to you. I will do this to feel comforted. I typically really like songs where the singer is basically speaking to the listener and saying comforting things to them. Personally, I like the repetition of these lyrics, and I find them very comforting. The whole song in general is comforting to me, but especially that part. And I love to just focus on that, and the fact that it's repetitive soothes me. Like, the song never really, I do think it builds up from the beginning in a sense where more things are added to it, but it never really gets super big, which some Angels and Airwaves songs do, and I like that too. But like with this one, I think it remains pretty steady throughout. The singing is my favorite part of it, of course, but the drums are my second favorite part of it. Their original drummer, Adam Willard, is one of my favorite musicians as well, and I like that the drums are loud but still steady. At least that's how they feel to me. Like, it's interesting. Songs aren't just soft or heavy and fast like this one is heavy but comforting, to me anyway. But even though I really like the outro of it, I don't ever just like go to that part of it just to hear it. Like, I like the experience of listening to it all the way through, not just because that's how it's supposed to be, but also because I like the build up to that. I like having to wait for that and hearing that part of the song mixed in with everything that's been a part of the song so far, like the guitars and everything. There have been many times that I have listened to this song on repeat in many situations. And like I said, I don't just listen to it when I'm anxious or stressed, like I can listen to it whenever, but I do find it helpful for if I am feeling anxious, nauseous, whatever, which thankfully I have gotten quite better at managing in the last few years, but still, everyone has their moments. And I think sometimes with panic attacks, you can do what you can, but also just kind of wait for yourself to calm down, wait for them to pass. And if you're going to do that, then I think it's good to have something to hold on to during that time. So there have been many times I've listened to this and lay down in bed, or help me calm down enough to fall asleep, or motivate me to do something I'm anxious to do, or comfort me if I'm feeling anxious during the day. I've listened to it outside of the house as well. It has helped me feel better when I'm sick, or through panic attacks, or has helped when I have maybe felt one coming on and has kind of slowed it down or prevented it. Or even if I am in the middle of one that couldn't be stopped, then kind of just helps me get through it and gives me something to focus on, because I would rather listen to that at least than nothing. I mean, sometimes silence is good, but I think sometimes, I guess for me, it's either this or nothing, or maybe another song, but another song might just be too dynamic, too upbeat, and so this feels like one of the best fits for me for that situation. A lot of Angels and Airwaves songs are about love and human connection and things like that, so I think this fits in with that theme, and I really like their messages. But yeah, as I said, I have listened to this on repeat many times, sometimes for over an hour straight, and that might sound kind of wild to some people. They might be like, how can you do that? But like I said, it's either that or nothing, or something else which wouldn't be as good, like a different song, and it kind of just becomes all I know. I mean, yeah, sometimes after listening to a song a lot at once, I want to be done with it, but with this one, it's just kind of like, it can sort of just carry me through, and I can just listen to it and focus on that, and just kind of, it may just fade into the background, especially if I'm trying to fall asleep, which I try to turn it off before I fall asleep, but still, I'm not ashamed to do what accommodates me, especially if I think that it helps and is a healthy way to deal with things. And listening to music is definitely one of those things. That is one of the things that I personally turn to. Now, I have listened to this song a lot. Some people might find how much kind of crazy, but I can show you my Spotify Wrapped statistics from 2025, and yeah, I know it's a lot, but that is just how it's been. I don't think I've ever really loved a song as much as I love this one. I love it very much. Again, it's not like the best sounding song to me, not that I think it sounds bad, obviously, but it's just one that has come to mean a lot to me. I think that might be all I have to say about Do It For Me Now. From now on, I should get a little less vulnerable, not that there's anything wrong with it, but yeah, I was just trying to find the right words to express all that I love about that song, as it's very important to me. Hopefully I have helped people understand a little better why I like it. The second song is OCD These Thoughts Again by Hooked Like Helen. This song was released in 2024. This was not on an album, but it was on their EP called Promise Me You'll Run. It is not their first EP. They have been making music for longer than that, because like I said, the last song was on the artist's first album. Hooked Like Helen is the smallest of all the artists I will be mentioning in this video. I think they're very underrated. They are an independent band. I discovered them opening for another one of my favorite bands, Icon for Hire, which I'll give you a hint, will be mentioned later in this video. I saw them live in 2023 and really liked them, and have become a big fan since. A lot of their songs are about topics such as mental health, trauma, healing, just things like that. And I think that could resonate with a lot of people. So if you'd like to check them out, I would definitely recommend it. I would love to have more people listen to them. Or even if you don't like it, I'd just be happy that you tried them out. It's good to support smaller artists. Anyway, OCD is my favorite song of theirs. In my Spotify Wrapped statistics, this was my second most listened song of 2024. As I said, I've seen this artist live. I hope to again someday. So this song, the title pretty much says it all. It is a very autobiographical song about the singer Nikki Stipp's experiences with obsessive compulsive disorder and anxiety. While I said Do It For Me Now does not feel super personally relatable for me that song is more of just like comforting to me. Not that I don't like the lyrics of it. This song is definitely very relatable for me. Probably every lyric, really. I can very much relate. The thing about this song is I first heard it when I heard them live in 2023. That was in April. This song did not get released until June of 2024. It's taken quite some time for them to release all those songs that I heard live with them. I still haven't heard them all, but I think there's just one more, and that's going to be released later this year. But because they're an indie band, they do get to take their time polishing things, and it can take time for a song to really be finished, and I respect that. But the point is, there was quite some time before I was able to just listen to this song in full whenever I wanted. That wasn't some live recording on someone's phone, which is, not the best quality, of course, but I still appreciated those who posted those. I was really looking forward to this song's release because I really resonate with it. Some people might not understand why you'd want to listen to a song that describes your struggles. They could see that as a negative thing. And maybe for some people it is. But for me, I think there is power in acknowledging your struggles, because some people don't. They might act like everything is fine and there are no problems. I think addressing the problem is the first step to healing. And also, while there are things you can do to help your situation, sometimes you just have bad days or bad moments. And sometimes it just kind of stinks and you're like, yeah, this is what I struggle with. But I think there's power in knowing that you're not the only person who struggles with it. And kind of just listening to the song, even if you're not singing along, you're just listening to it, just for me feels like an experience where I feel a connection with the singer. And it's like, yes, we both struggle with this, but yet here she is turning it into a song, turning it into art. And not that you have to turn everything you love or every struggle you have into a profit, which I know is not the only reason they do it. Like, it's also just to help people and inspire people and raise awareness. But it's just kind of like you're still going, seeing as you're still alive and you're still able to live a good life and make your art or do whatever you want to do. And personally, if I'm struggling, especially with bad thoughts, I would rather just listen to a song that describes those feelings. Plus, it sounds good and it's just fun to listen to. Like, even if I didn't struggle with these things, I think I would still enjoy the song. I'd much rather do that than struggle by myself and not feel understood, not have anything that describes my experience. I very much enjoy listening to songs that I feel describe my experience. I would much rather listen to this than struggle in silence. So yeah, I think the lyrics are good. I think it can be a really wonderful experience when someone is able to put into words how you feel. So I really respect people who can write songs, especially ones that connect with others so well, which I feel that Hooked Like Helen does do with their music. And as a side note, I apologize if anything I say in this video sounds concerning. I can assure you that I am very happy with my life and doing quite well and very much want to live a long life. But like anybody else, I do have my struggles, and it's more of an anxiety thing than anything, but I am very happy with my life. The music is just a healthy way to cope with it, and it helps me deal with big feelings that we all experience. So yeah, music helps me a lot, and I feel that this song really captures the agony of dealing with those struggles. As for the genre, Hooked Like Helen is kind of complicated. I feel like they're still figuring it out, but also a lot of the artists I listen to don't really want to confine themselves to a single genre. Like, all these songs mentioned in this video are rock in some capacity, but just saying rock music is very vague. I think it's okay to not have a specific style, especially to not put yourself in a box, but Hooked Like Helen has called themselves sad glam. I think that's a term they've used. They could also just be considered alternative rock. It's some kind of rock music. I think that is all I have to say about that song. The third song is Lonely Dance by Set It Off. Now, I mentioned that there was a band that I considered my favorite for a long time earlier in the video, and that was Set It Off. I still love them dearly, but I've just come to love Angels and Airwaves more in terms of their overall messages and what they currently mean to me. But yes, I did consider Set It Off my favorite band from 2019 till 2025. There were times when I was maybe listening to a lot of a certain band and maybe considered them my favorite at the moment, but overall it was always Set It Off. Like, I know, for example, I was listening to a lot of Sleeping with Sirens in 2023 and 2024. Maybe they'll be mentioned in a video, but I will go ahead and say not this one. Anyway, Lonely Dance is a song from Set It Off's 2019 album Midnight. This album came out when I was in 9th grade, and it is definitely one of the main things that comes to mind when I think of the music I listened to at the time. I had been listening to them for a little over a year already, but around the time that this album came out is when I became a big fan of them and learned more about them. They were not an independent band when the song was released, but they are now and have been since, I guess, 2023. I have seen them, and this song specifically, live. And with the last song, I know I mentioned seeing Hooked Like Helen live. I don't remember if I said that I've seen that specific song live, but I have. Although the album this song is from came out in 2019, this was a single released a few months earlier, so technically the song is from 2018. Set It Off is definitely another of those bands where it's kind of hard to call them just one genre. Probably the one I've struggled with the most, but especially when a band changes their sound and some albums sound a lot heavier or a lot poppier than others, it can be hard to describe. Yes, I would consider it rock, but it's also more poppy in some ways. Ultimately, you could just call it alternative rock, but even then, I feel like alternative just kind of means like you don't know what to call it, or it's different than what rock has been before. So I don't think it's a bad term, but I don't think it's the best either. I think some of it could maybe be considered pop punk, especially the older stuff. Some of the older stuff could be considered emo. And then I don't really know what to call them nowadays, but yeah, all these bands are rock to some capacity. Some are more poppy than others, and Set It Off was kind of poppy. I think the album Midnight, specifically, that this song is from, I have heard it be called dark pop, and I think that that is a more unique term, so that kind of helps me describe it. I should mention that Midnight is their fourth album. I really like this song because it has been described as the introvert anthem. I very much understand what the song is about. It's basically about how sometimes some people need to just be alone and just enjoy their time by themselves and not be around other people. I don't really see it as a theme of isolation, but just the need to be by yourself and recharge at times, which I can very much relate to. I even remember sharing this song with some of my friends in school and listening to it together, so that was really fun. But yeah, I think the song is just about being able to enjoy being on your own, and I also just think it's a fun song, and it can be about not wanting to deal with social anxiety, not wanting to deal with people that could be kind of like fake friends. A lot of Set It Off songs are about mental health in some way, especially anxiety. A lot of them are also about, like, I guess, sort of having beef with people who did you wrong or who turned out to be fake friends, things like that. Yeah, I think it's very relatable for a lot of people. I ultimately prefer the songs that are about anxiety and stuff. I resonate with those more, but you don't always need to relate to the lyrics in order to enjoy a song. So yeah, I think that's a really fun, relatable song for me that I think really captures that experience, those feelings. The music video for this song is pretty much just a game Among Us. And it came out before Among Us was really popular, so I don't think that was intentional. But nowadays, if you go to the YouTube video, I think that's what most of the comments say, so it's kind of hard to see it any differently now, which I don't really mind because I liked Among Us. That's another thing I remember from school, is playing it with people, but yeah, that's pretty much what the music video is. I think that's all I have to say about Lonely Dance. The next song I'm going to mention is Headache by Motionless in White. Now, all these bands I really love, and I do like Motionless in White a lot as well, but I would say all these bands I'm mentioning are in like my top 5, except for Motionless in White. I'm not quite sure where they would go. I don't know if they'd be in my top 10, probably top 15 or 20, so I don't feel as strongly about them as I do with the others, but I do quite like a lot of their songs. Headache is a song from their 5th album, Disguise, which came out in 2019. I have not seen this band live. They are the only one on this list besides Angels and Airwaves, but that I have not seen live. This song was my 3rd most listened song in 2025. I listened to it over 400 times. I think this is also one of my comfort songs, but it's a more intense one. Like, there are certain ones for certain situations. Do It For Me Now can be good if I'm trying to relax and fall asleep, though I've used it at other times as well. Headache is more for, like, I'm not going to listen to this song to help me fall asleep. I've rarely done that, if ever. This is more of a song for during the day, or especially if I'm at somewhere, or just walking around. There have been times where I have just paced around and listened to it until I feel better, because it is a much more intense song. Definitely the most intense song on this list. Personally, I think it captures the feelings of what I assume are about anxiety and stuff, and just struggling with bad thoughts and being unsure if you'll be all right. And ultimately, you kind of know that deep down, but then you're also not really sure. So I don't know if this song is about OCD, but it does remind me of that. So for me, it very much feels like a song for when you're just kind of fed up with your mind and any kind of anxious feelings that you may be having. And I personally like the intensity of it, because a song like OCD by Hooked Like Helen, for example, that is still a somewhat heavy song, but this song is like really heavy. Motionless in White is probably the heaviest stuff I listen to. Like, I don't listen to a lot of what would be considered metal. Like, I'm not into death metal, for example, or any of that stuff, but I think Motionless in White is, like, I wouldn't call them pop punk. They're definitely more of like metalcore, which I don't know exactly how to define, but I think that's one of the things they've been called, stuff like that. So I'd say they're probably more on the metal side than the rock side. Maybe they'd be considered rock, I don't know. There are all these debates about what genre to call somebody. And similarly to my experiences with OCD by Hooked Like Helen, I just enjoy being able to listen to something and resonate with it to help me through those moments. And then after some time, I feel fine. Like, these things happen. But in the moment, I think it helps to have something like that. But all these songs I can listen to at any time. not just when I'm struggling. And ultimately, this song does help me feel like I will be okay, which is a reminder I need sometimes. Like, I know that ultimately. Like, right now, I know that, but sometimes you can doubt that. So, yeah, this song has helped me with that. The fifth and final song I will be talking about today is Brittle by Icon for Hire. Icon for Hire is another one of my favorite bands. In terms of lyrics, they're definitely my favorite. A lot of their songs are about mental health and stuff, so I think that they're also a very underrated band, and I'd love for more people to check them out. They're not going to be everyone's thing, but I think that some people would like them if they heard them. I definitely wish more people knew about them. They are also an independent band. They have not always been. They weren't for their first two albums, but since 2015 they have been independent, so they could use the extra help. I have seen them live twice. Well, Set It Off I've also seen twice, and I have heard this song live as well. This song is from their fourth album, Amorphous, which came out in 2021. Similar to bands such as Angels and Airwaves or Hooked Like Helen, there are so many Icon for Hire songs that I could have chosen for this. I'm not even sure if this is my favorite. It's kind of hard for me to pick a favorite song of theirs, but there are so many that I resonate with or that I feel have important lyrics and messages. I feel like Brittle is about realizing that you are strong and that you are not weak, or according to the title, brittle, and that some people may think you are, but you know yourself better than them, and they might want to define you, but you know who you are, and I think that there's power in that. I think the song can be very empowering, very good for confidence. I have some songs that definitely help me feel more confident and remind me how strong I am. And I think it's just one of those songs about not caring what other people think about you, especially when it comes to any labels you may be given. But I think it also highlights the struggle. Like, it's not just all positivity and empowerment. I love songs that highlight and validate a struggle, but then end with something positive and uplifting, which I think that this song does. Some Set It Off songs do that as well. So yeah, I can very much resonate with this song and I enjoy it. So I guess that is all I have to say for this video. Thank you very much for listening to me talk about something I'm passionate about. This has been a little difficult, trying to find the right words and just making sure that I express my thoughts about these songs well. I also tried to be an advocate for mental health, so I think that it is good to talk about those things, though it can be difficult. Oh, and a side note, as for Icon for Hire, they're also a rock band, alternative, I suppose. I think since becoming independent, they have more electronic elements and may involve like rapping in some songs. Yeah, or more like that than more traditional rock music, but I think they also have their own nice, unique sound. I know that Linkin Park is one of their biggest inspirations, and what I just described could sound a bit like their songs, so I would say they're a bit similar to them. Anyway, yes, thank you for watching this. Please feel free to share your thoughts, especially if you know any of these artists or songs. I know I will be mentioning a lot of artists that a lot of people don't know about, and so I'm very happy to spread the word and hopefully find more fans for them. But also, if you do check them out and it's not your thing, that's completely understandable. I do listen to some mainstream popular stuff, but a lot of what I listen to is not that, and I think that's partially just because a lot of people haven't found it, but also it's just not everyone's thing, and that's okay. Bye for now.